welcome to Mindfulness Monday, coming at you live every Monday at 3:30 Mountain Standard Time. My name is Amanda Gregg, and I am passionate about helping people get comfortable in their bodies so that they can begin to live the best version of themselves. And so, thanks for joining me every Monday, and looking forward to sharing today's topic. I wanted to say that the reason that I started doing these Facebook Lives and just general recordings is because I am very excited about sharing. And it really came to me recently from a message from Mary Oliver. If you've heard of any of her writings of how to live a life, the first one is being present and paying attention. So that's the very first one. The second one is being astounded. And then the third is telling about it. And so I'm really passionate in the business that I do with Soaring Eagle Healing to tell about all the different things that I read about. So have just a quick question for you. So do you spend more time in your mind, so with your thoughts, or do you spend more time feeling and in your body? And so I just want you to think about that for just a minute and just take a moment to really feel that. Because today's topic, we're going to actually be talking about thoughts and feelings and how they connect together and how they work together. So for me, as I started my vacation, many of you know I was on vacation in Mexico. Coming back to snow was a little bit of a shock. But while I was on vacation, I read two books. And one of the books was actually this book here. So the book of Doing and Being. And it was all about creativity. But one of the things that he pointed to in this wonderful book was about the thoughts and about the feelings. And so one thing to note is that in the thoughts, those come from our mind. So that's the one thing. Second thing is that then the feelings, they actually come from our body. And so a lot of times the myths about thoughts are when I say I'm stressed or I'm worried, that we're actually thinking that that is an emotion that we are having that is a part of that thought. And actually, if we looked a little bit further into that, there would actually be a connection that we would see in our body. Vice versa, when we look at the things that are going on in the feelings in our body, there are thoughts that come up that are then connected to that as well. And so what he points to in the book is when you have the thoughts and the feelings, and when they come together, that they can originate, one, from the thought that you're having, or two, from the feeling that you're having. And so those are the two different perspectives that I have about that. The one thing that I want to share about this is he elaborated a little bit more on a tool that I thought was really cool, and it's called Into the Garden. And I'm sure if you Googled it or something like that, that a lot of information would come up about it. But it's this process. And so I want to kind of take you through the process. And you can either do it along with me. I'll be going through it a little bit quicker, but want you to maybe use it later on. So when we think about a thought, so take just a moment and center yourself and just think about a thought. So if we were to say, think about Christmas time or Christmas Day. Think about the first day that you went to college. And if you think through that thought, actually start beginning to notice what's actually happening in your body when you move into that thought. So just thinking about that for a moment. For me, when I think about Christmas Day, for instance, I think about joy, I think about excitement, and so I can really start to feel that in my body. So you just kind of feel that. Then taking the opposite direction of this in this Into the Garden, where we look at actually the feelings. So if you take a feeling for you today, for me, it was a little bit of anxiety, actually. Excitement, but anxiety about coming back from vacation, having all sorts of things that I needed to do, and being able to start to do that. So with that, I had some feelings that I started to look at, and then the thoughts that started to come up with that. And so you can really start to look at those thoughts. And as you do this exercise, if you're not judging any of those thoughts, just allowing them to come up with this feeling, then you can really start to see that. And I think that the reason they call it Into the Garden is because from either direction, from either coming from a thought to a feeling or a feeling to a thought, there is a really immense connection between the two. And like I said, not all the time do we get further into that and really start to experience that in our body. And the reason that we want to start doing that and actually start practicing that, which this Into the Garden exercise can do for you, is because we can actually move through things a lot faster than being just thinking about it and trying to say, okay, I'm going to figure this out. Once you start saying, I'm going to figure this out, you can actually know pretty 100% that you're actually not in your body and that you're not feeling this particular emotion. And so I would challenge you to actually take a little time with yourself as you move through this to be able to start practicing that and to start really practicing looking at your feelings and looking at the different things that you are experiencing, may it be a thought or a feeling, and being able to move to the different direction. So I'll give another example of this. So as we were traveling back 2 days ago from our vacation, we were at the point where you get your car from where it's been parked for a really long time and you're trying to pay for it. And you're kind of at that point where you're wishing you were home, but knowing you still have, in my case, about an hour and a half drive to go. So we were trying to pay for the parking. And I could feel my partner starting to get just a little bit agitated about the machine not taking his payment. And so kind of did a little bit got very upset about the machine. And I could feel myself and I could feel my thoughts about this just start to begin to grow. And so as I started to then look at the feelings that were connected to this and what was going on in my body, I actually was better equipped not to react in any sort of way to contribute to what was going on for my partner. I more was able to stay in a state where I was very centered so that I didn't add to that particular circumstance. And so it was really interesting when I started doing that because, like I said, the practice of it is something that we just got to keep in mind and keep doing in different ways. And so this is one of those ways that we can. But as I started to do that, it was just amazing at what my body was telling me and what some of the other feelings that I was having around this that maybe were from the past or maybe were from a different point in time that were starting to be connected to this. And really being able to sort through those and just see that main connection and that the body is really key. The other thing that I want to say too, well, two more things. One is when we move along in our mind, there's so much that our minds do. It's quite amazing. I was just writing a friend today saying how amazing it is. But until we actually bring our mind along and our body together, we cannot come to the next level of where we want to be and be the best version of ourselves. And so I really advocate for that. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping people get comfortable in their body so that they can really start to see some of these signals and these messages so they themselves can begin to work through that. The last thing that I want to say is that consistency and that practice is something that's really big. I think I talk about that a lot in the programs that I do, that the consistency of being able to practice, being able to start to see this in your everyday and take a breath and take a moment and even just do this exercise. It literally can take you 2 minutes to be able to just have that connection. I just really advocate for that. So thank you again for joining me today. I am so happy to see you all here, and for those that will be watching later, appreciate all the thumbs up and everything. So if you are interested in anything else around this conversation, please message me. I am so here to talk through different things or listen to anything that you have to offer. I'd really love that. So message me if you'd like. If not, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again 3:30 Mountain Standard Time next Monday. Thanks so much and have a good day.